This morning, California is home to the nation's toughest law dealing with antibiotics given to animals that people eat. Governor Jerry Brown signed the bill on Saturday.
80% of the antibiotics used in this country are not taken by humans to fight disease, but to help farm animals grow bigger, faster, and that is fueling the rise of antibiotic resistance in people, including the threat from superbugs. Our Dr. David Agus is in Los Angeles. David, good morning.
Good morning, Nora.
All right, so first, how do antibiotics in animals threaten human health?
It's an amazing story. 1946, an observation was made that if you give low-dose antibiotics to cows, to chickens, to pigs, they grow bigger. And so farmers have been doing it ever since, so that almost 80% of antibiotic usage in the United States is for livestock. That antibiotic allows bacteria to become drug resistant, and those bacteria can spread through the water, through the air, through insects, or from animal to human touch, and actually make us sicker.
What does the California law do, David?
So the California law is fantastic. It starts to say you can only use antibiotics when an animal is really sick, instead of using it to make them bigger and to tolerate the unsanitary conditions at some of these farms. So it restricts the use to when it's needed.
So do you think other states will follow suit?
Well, California is one of the biggest agriculture states, and it sets the lead many times for things like the environment, and hopefully in this case. There are laws at the FDA that are not mandatory. Farmers can do whatever they want, and by starting to make it mandatory, it's a fantastic change that puts health over profits.
So how do you think this will change our health?
Well, antibiotic resistance, superbugs, are becoming a major challenge. And so in Europe, they banned this in 2006, and there was a decrease in these superbugs. The hope is the same happens here in the United States.
So there's clinical evidence that there can be a reduction in that?
There's evidence in some of the countries in Europe that several of the superbugs have gone down since banning these antibiotics in livestock.
David, we reported this morning on a New York Giants player, Daniel Fells, who has something called Mercer. How is that connected to this?
Well, Mercer is one of these superbugs. It stands for methicillin-resistant Staph aureus. So it's one of these bugs that got resistant to the standard antibiotics we use. And so he has one that's very hard to treat, and it's invading his bone in his ankle. And so the hope is that these new generations of antibiotics will work and he won't have to have part of his leg removed, but we just don't know yet. There is hope on the horizon, though. In January of this year, for the first time, we have a new antibiotic class that can actually attack some of these bugs. But the key is to prevent antibiotic resistance from happening, and Governor Jerry Brown took a major step forward in this case.
Is Mercer contagious, yes or no?
Sure. 2% of us have it on our skin surface, so when we itch, it can go underneath the skin, or in his case, a shot. But we need to prevent it.
All right, Dr. David Agus. Thank you, Dr. Agus.